Hello, everybody.
Hello. Hi, Mary.
Sunny Sunday smiles. Lots of smiles. Welcome, everyone. Welcome those who are watching online, too. And so nice to have everybody with us this beautiful afternoon. So we will begin by standing and singing our opening song, Prayer of the Children of Love, right on the front of your songbook.
Father, Mother, God, your kingdom come, your holy will be wholly done. Spirit, source of love, your children sing, flow through us now in everything, every day, in every way. Our prayer is this: everywhere, let love be there, and so it is. Father, Mother, God, your kingdom come, your holy will be wholly done. Spirit, source of love, your children sing, flow through us now in everything. Father, Mother, God, your children pray, be love in us in every way.
Thank you, and please be seated. Now let's begin our opening meditation and just begin to relax. I invite you to close your eyes if that's comfortable for you. Find a good, comfortable spot in your seat. And let's do our 3 deep breaths with an audible ah. And on that out breath, just think of all of the tension and stress and anything that you might be harboring that you'd like to have just flow right out. And we'll use this as a calming and grounding breath. So let's breathe And now let's put our hand on our heart. And let's feel our heart soften and open and expand as we become fully aware of the unbounded spaciousness of divine presence and our unity with this loving presence. We acknowledge that our thought, our intention, our feeling, and every act is one with the collective consciousness, combining with the energetic vibration of all others to profoundly impact our world. The energy we contribute illuminates all hearts with compassion and kindness and clarity and wisdom. We ground ourselves in unwavering trust, knowing that there is a bigger spiritual picture. A spiritual picture that we allow to unfold in divine right timing, firm in our knowing that we can choose peace, and we choose peace now. Holding everyone in our country and in our world in a magnificent, powerful circle of love. And together we say, and so it is. Thank you. And we have our special music next, and I would like to introduce Mia Cheney and Tiffany Gridiron. Please give them a welcome.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
We're just going to get set up over here. We're going to do a special arrangement of a Bill Withers tune. This arrangement was done by a friend of mine, Neil Gordon. We hope you enjoy it. Sometimes in our lives we all have pain, we all have sorrow, but if we are wise, we know that there's always tomorrow. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Please swallow your pride if I have things you need to borrow, for no one can feel those of your needs that you won't You just call on me, brother. If you need a hand, we all need somebody to lean on. I might have a problem, you understand. We all need somebody to lean on. Lean on. Please swallow your pride. If I have faith, you need to borrow, for no one can see those of your needs that you won't let show. Call me, call me. You just call me. If you need a friend, call me. If you need a friend, call me. Call me.
Wow, that was wonderful. Thank you so much. Beautiful. I think we need another applause here. So we are going to sing another song, a fellowship song. If you would get your songbooks out and turn to page 25, we're singing It's in Every One of Us.
It's in every one of us to be wise. Find your heart, open up both your eyes. We can all know everything without ever knowing why. It's in every one of us, by and by. It's in every one of us to be wise. Find your heart, open up all your eyes. We can all know everything without ever knowing how. It's in every one of us now, right now.
And please take this few moments to say hello to your neighbors, or, well, say hello to everyone in the room. That's usually what happens.
Hey, Bill.
Hey, Julie. Shoot, my papers flew out. It's a foghorn.
It is a fun.
Even with the weather day, at least it's right in the key of F, which is kind of nice.
We got our angels. That's our angels.
Thank you, everybody. Well, Julie Cribley, Reverend Julie Cribley, was scheduled to speak today, and she called me yesterday, early afternoon, to let me know that she was sick, and she kept thinking that she would feel better, but it wasn't happening. So let's all give Bill Diedrich a lot of thanks and appreciation for stepping up.
Hi. I have a handout. So if somebody could help pass these out, or a couple somebody. There are some pens in there in case some of you need a pen. And I think some of you already have a little pencil with your program. Okay, am I coming through to people online? Sometimes I see comments, oh, we couldn't hear the speaker.
We're good.
Okay,
We're good.
good. All right. So today's title is kind of long, as you can see on the handout, those of you who have it already. Intuition, internal guidance, and how to access it continually. I think continually is about the best we can do. There's a difference between continual and continuous. Continual is always making progress. Continuous is it never shuts off. So our internal guidance is actually continuous. It never shuts off. But our ability to hear it, hopefully, is continual. That we, of course, move in and out of that space depending on our emotional states, what's going on in our life. So I'd like you to start off, and this, you can write it down or just do it in your head, whatever works, is recall a time when you felt an intuition that either brought you something good or prevented you from experiencing something bad. So if you would think about that, please. Did everybody get a sheet? I guess we're good. Everybody's got one. And a pen, too. Good. And if you want to take a minute, if you'd like, you can tell the person next to you about it. But keep it short, please. I'm just going to give you like one more minute, so.
We think it's up there.
It's the wind blowing through something. Yes, some of you are hearing the noise that sounds like a foghorn, which I think is kind of cool, because what is a foghorn but a signal, an audible signal from a ship when it's foggy out to let all the other ships know where it's at. And so your internal vibration your ability to hear your intuition, your ability to be love or not, is like a foghorn that everybody hears. People sense you. And so you always have a foghorn going on, even though you don't hear it. That was my way of incorporating that sound into my song. All right. I can certainly think of many times my intuition has been helpful. And I've just done something because I felt it. It wasn't always a thought. Sometimes it was just a feeling, do this. And sometimes it was a feeling, don't do this. And sometimes I didn't listen, and I did it anyway. And there was usually a price to pay because I didn't listen. Maybe all of you can relate to that. I would add to this, and I've said this before, that all feelings, all emotions are your intuition. However you feel at any given moment, that is your intuition speaking to you. Your intuition speaks to you quite often through your body. Sometimes intuition is thoughts, but quite often it's feelings. It's an urge or something like that. You feel it in your body. So the problem is that when we feel these feelings, we judge them. If you feel anger or you feel hurt or something like that, we judge it to be bad. Oh, this is a bad thing. And that's a problem because we don't really know if it's a bad thing. Yeah, it feels what we might call bad, but we don't know that because it can lead to something maybe that's really for your good. I had this insight a long time ago, long before I even got into spiritual stuff. I remember sitting in a chair in a house all alone. I had just split up with my wife in my first marriage. So I had lost my wife. I had lost my home. I had lost the relationships I had with my dear in-laws because my wife didn't want us connected. And I had lost the ability to live with my children. So I had a lot of loss going on. And so I was sitting in a chair, of course, feeling very sorry for myself and very hurt. But just feeling it, not trying to block it. Wasn't drinking or smoking anything or trying to cover it up. I was just feeling it. And a thought came to me, this is good for me. This is important for me, this experience. And I actually felt a little bit of joy after that. In the midst of all this sorrow and hurt, I felt this sense of joy. That was my intuition speaking to me. First, the hurt, letting me know of things that I needed to work out inside myself, like I needed to learn how to let go. And then the joy of recognizing that I'm on a good path here. This is okay. So I need to ask you then, what are you against in your life? That's the next question. It could be personal things in your life, like maybe you have some kind of physical disease or disability. Are you fighting it? Or you can look at things in the world. There are things going on in the world that you are against. Are you a social justice warrior fighting against certain things? Or are you on the other side of the fence fighting against the liberalism and things like that, encroaching liberalism, whatever you want to call it? What are you against? If you just look at Facebook, there's all kinds of against there. People criticizing what's going on. What are you feeling against? What are you reacting to? Disease, injury, another person, poverty, lack of money, yourself, inner conflict, your thoughts, like are you fighting against your thoughts? Or in the world, you're fighting against the bombing of Iran, or you're fighting against ICE, or you're fighting against people protesting and who are against ICE, or whatever. What are you fighting? It's important to understand what we're fighting. This is called resistance. And as you all know, what you resist will persist. So whatever you're fighting, you're also feeding. If you are against something strongly, you are feeding it. You are helping to keep it alive and going because that's where your energy is going. I'm not saying that if you don't like, say, a particular politician, you're supposed to like them. You're not supposed to like them. You're not even supposed to prefer them. You feel how you feel. What I'm talking about is the energy you're giving to being against. And you can post all kinds of negative things on Facebook, or you can passionately speak your feelings against something to friends, but what are you accomplishing? One thing that you are accomplishing is you are blocking out your inner voice. Because you have decided that this person or this situation is bad or wrong, and so you don't really know what it is. But you've decided that it's bad, so since you think you already know, you're not going to hear what the inner voice has to say about it. Does that make sense? When you think you already know, you're not going to hear. And so, one way that we hear the inner voice is to let go of judgment. So, I'll give you an example. Way back in 1969, before some of you were born, but a lot of you were here, I was going to Western Michigan University, and we rented 20 U-Haul vans, and we drove down to Washington, D.C. in the fall of 1969. And we demonstrated for peace and for civil rights. There were literally tens of thousands of us there. Richard Nixon was the president, a fairly new president. It was only 1969, it was his first year. The Vietnam War was going strong. There were still issues with segregation and all of that kind of stuff. So I was down there, and we demonstrated, we marched, all that kind of thing. And there was an incident where a bunch of people went to the Department of Defense, I think, and were throwing rocks at it. And that brought out the police. And so we came out of, with the friends I went with, we came out of this restaurant and look at the street, and I see thousands of people literally marching toward us, and behind them, hundreds of police officers in riot gear firing tear gas canisters up into the air and raining tear gas everywhere. So tear gas was everywhere, and actually one of my friends got sick from it. So we, of course, walked away from that. And I thought about that, this doesn't make sense. We're here to demonstrate for peace, and here people are throwing rocks at the Defense Department. That's not peace. So what I'm saying is, I learned then that it's important to not spend our energy on what we're against, but to spend it on what we're for. In other words, what is your vision? My vision was for peace, that we weren't in a war in Vietnam, that people all had rights, and that's what I was going for. That's why I was there. I wasn't there to try to hurt people or destroy property or any of those kind of things, because none of those things create peace. Does that make sense? So we look at today, and things are happening. This may be controversial for some of you, and if it is, good. Because it gives you a chance to look at what you react to. So we have this thing happen this past week where the U.S. and Israel were bombing Iran. Is it a good thing or is it a bad thing? Have you made a judgment? So we can look at it different ways, that innocent people were killed. I hear even a school was bombed. I don't know by who, but it happened and people died. So we can say, well, that's a bad thing. We shouldn't have done it. But then on the other side, for several weeks preceding the bombing, literally thousands of people were murdered by the Iran government for protesting. And the Ayatollah supposedly was killed. And for the past 40-some years, because of that government, women had no rights. I don't know if you know much about it, but in the 70s, women in Iran were pretty much, they had freedom. They could do what they want. And as soon as the government came in, they were imprisoned in burqas and had no rights. If a woman was assaulted, sexually assaulted, and it came out, she was punished, not the person who assaulted, unless she could find 5 men who would vouch for her. who were witnesses. So that's the kind of situation. And so then you look at videos, people are in the streets celebrating in Iran. So, good, bad? I don't know. Was it good that we bombed there? I don't know. You don't either. I can say I don't like it. I can say, I wish there was another way we could do this, because, I'm not a person who's for war. I was a conscientious objector, and literally filed for that, and did not have to go into service because of that. So, but it wasn't because I was against war. It was because I was for peace. There's a difference in terms of being for something or being against something. It's a different energy. And so is your energy leading toward what you truly want? Do you even know what you want? Some people don't like the President of the United States. And I might ask, well, what do you want? Well, I want him out of there. No, that's not a want. That's an against. What do you want? Well, I want to see a Democrat in there. Okay, but what do you really want? What kind of government do you want? What do you want to see going on in the capital of this country? What is it that you truly want? And to ask that question and answer it. And not only to want it, but to choose it. And we get into that place where we let go of the temptation to get dragged into conflict, to get into arguments, and then our intuition starts speaking to us. Okay, this is what I want, this is what I choose. Now my intuition starts telling me how I can help us get there, what I can do. So for me, some of you know this, but I don't do vaccines, ever. But I'm not anti-vaccine. I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I've done a lot of study, 3,000 hours, reading studies, listening to experts. I didn't do the COVID vaccine. I've never done a flu vaccine. I won't. Because my studies have shown me, and the data has shown me, it's not helpful, because I am for my good health. And that is not part of it. Am I saying nobody should do those things? Not at all. If you take a vaccine and you feel like it's good for you, then more power to you. That's fine. It's not my job to tell you what you should think. I am for good health. And so I want to see not only myself, but I want to see a healthy country. And so if I were going to travel to another continent and somebody said, well, hey, you need a vaccine for this because there's diseases there you've never been in contact with. You have no immunity. I would look into that vaccine, and it's easy to do. All you do is go online, you look up the vaccine, and you type in the package insert. And you read the package insert, and it tells you everything. How it was studied, how many people were in the study, how much safety testing was on it, all that kind of stuff. It's all there. And I've read a lot of them. So I would read all that information. And if it made sense to me, then I would just take it. So I'm not anti, I'm pro good health. Does that make sense? Yeah. So I made the mistake with the whole COVID thing when it was going on. I read a lot of stuff and listened to a lot of people, and I was angry. Angry at all the corruption and the lying that was going on. A lot of it's come out lately, but it was out then, if you're willing to look for it. I had to let that go. Because, for one thing, I wasn't helping anybody, because all people could hear was my anger. They didn't care about my facts or my data. It didn't matter if I was right or not. It was my anger that came out. So I had to let that go. I didn't prevent other people from speaking their truth. I was not against that. But I really I could call it passionate, but it's really anger. And it took me a while to move through that. And I did some posts on Facebook. A lot of people, especially in my family, were very disapproving of me. But then I thought about it and I said, okay, posting this stuff, even though I know what I'm posting is factual, is this who I am? And is this who I want to be on Facebook or anywhere else? And the thought came, the intuition was, no, it's not who I am. I don't want to be the person who's criticizing. Some people are, and they do a good job of it. And because they do it in such a way that's not all anger, it's just very factual, and they make good sense, and that's fine. That's not who I am, though. I can be that in a conversation, I guess, but if I'm going to post something there, I want it to be something uplifting. And if it can't be uplifting, I'm not going to post. And over time, it took me a while, I stopped commenting on other people's stuff. Because what does it do, you know? It just creates conflict. And conflict's not what I'm for. So why am I doing it then? So I stopped doing it. And so I feel better because of that. That's a good thing. So what is your vision? And think about it. If you look at the paper that I gave you, when you're against, think about what you're against. I gave you examples of things I have been against. Who are you being when you're against something? Who are you being? There's a lot of self-righteousness in the world right now, of people being right, and everybody else is wrong. And if you're doing that, who are you then, really? And what is your impact on the world if you're being right and you're making a lot of effort to make other people wrong? Who are you then? And if you have a vision, and I hope you do have a vision for yourself, a vision for your health, a vision for your relationships, for your life, then who are you being when you're living that vision? In terms of health, sometimes we hear terms like the fight against cancer. And that's not to minimize people who've gone through that. I don't know if anyone here has gone through that. If you have, and you're here, you're still standing, I congratulate you, and I'm happy for you, and I'm glad for you. However, I think about, okay, if I'm fighting it, in some ways I'm feeding it. Can I focus on something different than fighting it, than resisting it? I could focus on being well. I could focus on what does wellness look like? And how do I start thinking, feeling, and behaving in a way that encourages wellness? During the whole COVID thing, as I didn't take any vaccines, so I didn't think they were worth anything, I did other things though. I started taking vitamin C and vitamin D every morning, and also zinc, because those are things that are known to be protective to those kinds of viruses. And other things too, keeping myself fit, those sorts of things. So if you are you anti whatever diseases you have, or are you for health? It's difficult to be both, because your energy is going toward one or the other. I'm not minimizing feeling terrible or in pain, because, yeah, I mean, I've experienced some deep pain, and I'm not comparing myself to anyone. We've all had our experiences, some much more than others. But when I've had a lot of pain, I didn't allow myself to get into why me, but focused on being well and how do I get there. And allowing myself, quite often, just to experience the pain. And sometimes taking something, if that's what I needed to function, but sometimes not, just to be there. And I can't be the judge for you, because sometimes you just need to take stuff, because the pain is too much. But at the same time, you can focus on being well. What is your vision for yourself? For some of us, if we're really in something like that, it's getting through the day, right? However, can we go beyond that and say, yeah, right now I'm focusing on getting through the day, but my vision here is to be whole and well. And I'm going to do everything I can in terms of my attitude, my thoughts, whatever, to get there. It doesn't mean I'm not going to have feelings of, say, despair or depression. I allow those feelings to come through because they're part of me. I may feel frustrated, maybe a lot, and that's okay. I I can still have the vision and move toward it. I said this before, if you're driving to California and you're only in Iowa, do you get mad at Iowa? You just keep driving. And so you are where you are in your process. And you can get angry and frustrated with where you are, or you can focus on where you're going. And by letting go of the againstness, that's a new word, I guess. By letting go of that and that reaction, I'm allowing then my intuition to speak and maybe tell me, what is this for? Several times I've spoken up here about going through my whole adventure with shingles, which was about 6 weeks of intense pain. The whole time, though, when I went through it, I accepted it. This is where I am right now. This is where I'm going. And by doing that, I learned what it was for and how it was helping me. Just as when I went through that divorce situation, I learned what it was for and how it was helping me by listening within. Shingles taught me how to love myself. So when people have said to me, aren't you sorry you didn't get the vaccine? I said, no, it's one of the most important things that ever happened to me. I don't want to go through it again. I don't want to have pain like that, but I had it. So how do we take what's going on and instead of judging it, look for what good can come out of it? So I look at the world situation, what's going on in Iran, and I think in terms of what good can come out of this. I see some very excited people in Iran that the Ayatollah is gone. I hope that they can have a vision. In the meantime, I can have a vision for them of them having peace and freedom, which is what they've been demonstrating for the last few months, which tens of thousands of them have died in the last few months because they were demonstrating, and that's not allowed, or it wasn't anyway. History tells us, though, when a dictatorial government is shut down, quite often it's just replaced by another one of just a different color, a different flavor. And so hopefully that's not what's going to happen. My hope is that the vision is strong enough in the people of Iran, because if you know anything about the history, it's a very rich historical and cultural land. I mean, it was part of Persia. And all of that stuff was stifled over the last 40, 50 years. All the beauty of that culture was stifled. And expression was not allowed. Not by anyone really, but especially not by women. So I'm looking at women and men empowered and being able to express themselves and to be free. And I hope, I trust, that that's their vision, and they'll find the right leaders to help them get there. So I ask you the question, what do you want? And that's on number 6 on your handout. There's a more important question than what do you want? And that is, what do you choose? There's a difference between wanting and choosing. Wanting usually creates more wanting, because you literally want to be wanting, because it becomes part of our identity. Like some of us, myself included, have had financial turmoil in our lives. And I find myself wanting more money. The problem with that is I'm consistently creating situations where I want more money. How about if I choose to have more money? That's a whole different thing. I know people who have been ill for a long time and they're wanting to be well, but do they choose to be well? I found with the whole money thing, this was way back in the early 90s, that I was telling myself I wanted to be more prosperous, but I was also, when people asked me how I was doing, I would tell them my story. And I was driving in the car one day, and I remember having this question in my mind of, Why do you tell people? When they ask you how you're doing, why do you tell people? What is the purpose in that? Why do you tell them that you're struggling? And this is not me just like confiding to a couple close people. This is telling anybody. And I realized that what I was going for was sympathy. And the intuition into me said, well, do you want sympathy or do you want prosperity? Because you can't have both. If you are prosperous and you have all that you need and want, does anyone feel sorry for you? Not at all. Who was the last billionaire or billionaire you felt sorry for? No one. If you're whole and well, without disease, do people feel sorry for you? Of course they don't. So I had to let go of that need for sympathy or empathy because it was conflicting what I was telling myself I wanted. I had to choose prosperity. And back then, I was new. I was starting a business. So I had to change my vocabulary. I stopped saying, I'm trying to start a business. And I said, I'm starting a business. I'm not trying anymore. I'm doing it. And if I went to talk to a potential client, I certainly didn't say to them, please hire me, I need the money. That's not a motivator. People don't hire you because they feel sorry for you. They hire you because they believe you can help them. And so I went in there, finding out what they needed and asking them or showing them how I could help them. And that's how I got hired. So it really takes a change in who you are being to change the conditions in your life, but also to change the conditions in the world. Some of you are familiar with David Hawkins. He has a scale of consciousness where it goes from 0 to 1,000. And at 200 is the level called courage. And from 200 on up is considered positive. And below 200 is considered in a negative consciousness. And he says about 78% of the world is in a negative consciousness. 22% are in a positive consciousness, that is at level 200 and above. The reason we continue to be a world with that lopsidedness is because the higher up you go, the more you counterbalance people who are in the negative. So he says that if you're at level 500, which is love, where your consciousness is all love, you counterbalance 750,000 who are negative. And so you can see why several people in the high numbers, whatever, 800, 900, counterbalance millions of people who are negative. Because if that didn't happen, this world wouldn't even be here anymore. If 78% of the world is more negative, and that became the presiding consciousness, it wouldn't go very well. So sometimes when people make comments, will make comments like, thoughts and prayers are not enough. Sometimes thoughts and prayer are all we have, and they are enough in many ways. Action that comes from thought and prayer is effective. But sometimes all you got is thought and prayer. And if your thought and prayer is from a position of being of being a higher consciousness, you are affecting the world. You don't have to go over to the Mediterranean and go to Iran to affect what's going on there. You are already affecting what's going on there. You don't have to go to Washington, D.C. to affect what's going on there. You're already affecting it by your consciousness. So what we do is we don't have to fix the world. We have to fix ourselves. Which I learned that a long time ago through my demonstrating and marching and that sort of thing. That I need to change me. It's not the world I need to change. The world becomes a reflection of who you are being. Your world, your life is a reflection of what's going on inside of you. As within, so without. And the whole world is a collective reflection of as we all are within being reflected on the outside. For some people, life is a horrible thing. For other people, it's a beautiful and joyous thing because it's a reflection of what's in you. And it's hard for us to get out of the victim state and realize that. But most of the world lives in a victim state. But it's a choice. So I will end with saying, think about what you want, but then choose it. Choose to be it. And realize that your vibration is your foghorn calling to the world, asking for people and events that fit your consciousness. And so, if you don't like who and what you're calling, then change it. And it will change. I'm not saying every condition will change. Sometimes they will. Sometimes you'll just see it differently, or you'll handle it differently. I don't know. There's no real magic here. It's just consciousness. And the more that we let go of our againstness, our inner conflicts, our negativity, the more we open ourselves to intuition. I'm not saying you shouldn't ever feel a negative feeling. You feel them. But you don't have to react and behave from them. You don't have to think from them. You can feel the feelings, accept them, embrace them, and move toward your vision. You're going to have negative feelings. It's okay. It's what humans do. Okay? All right, thank you.
I have to say the foghorn showed up right at perfect times during the talk.
Yeah.
It really did. Okay, let's just take a moment now to really be grateful for our service today, for everyone in this room, for the wonderful message and the wonderful music, and for the fellowship that we have with each other. And as John and Barb are going to help out with the collection today, remember also to put your prayer cards in there, your prayer requests, and together we'll sing, I Am Grateful.
Grateful, I am grateful. Grateful, I am grateful. Grateful, I am grateful. Grateful, I am grateful. Grateful, I am grateful. Grateful, I am grateful. Grateful, I am grateful. Grateful, I am grateful. Grateful, I am grateful. Grateful, I am grateful.
Please bring your bulletin out and read with me the blessing of our tithes and offerings. The light of divine love shines eternally, blessing and multiplying our tithes and offerings. I joyously give, knowing I always have enough to share and to spare. And let's also just take another moment to go within again and encircle everyone in the basket today at people, conditions, situations with our unconditional love. May we see them as healthy and whole and safe, with clarity and wisdom. May we see our country and our world and all beings on this planet receiving what they need. And together we say, and so So it is. Thank you. We have another song.
We've had a little bit of a teaser of this song a little bit earlier, and it's really a song about where do we direct our consciousness. Are we directing it towards the beauty that's present always in the world, and as a reminder to us about the beauty that is in the world. I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them blue for me and for you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. We've got skies of blue, with clouds of white, the bright, blessed day, and the dark, sacred night. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the skies, they're also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry, and I watch them grow and learn so much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the skies, they're also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They really say, I love you. I hear babies cry and I watch them grow. They'll learn so much more Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Yeah.
Thank you for Mia and Tiffany for helping us feel so much better. Doesn't everybody feel good after that song?
Yes.
How can you not? Thank you again so much. Thank you, Corey. And thank you, Bill, for a wonderful message. And again, things to really take into our week and apply. Thank you so much. I just have a few quick announcements. I hope everybody has on their calendar the St. Patrick's Day fundraiser dinner, March 21st. That's a Saturday at 5 p.m. here. Death Cafe, Saturday the 21st at 2 p.m. A Course in Miracles every Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. here. And also the first Saturday of each month at 2 p.m. Healing Movements Yoga with Reverend Julie here every Monday at 4 p.m. And then don't forget to go in and get some snacks. There's some really wonderful looking things in there. So let's get into our peace circle and say our closing blessing.
Oh, I'm okay.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator. Family are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
The love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, and the presence of God is within us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And that's the truth. I know. So school's good?
Yes, we just had spring break last year. So that was so nice. I went to visit my cousin in Hawaii. So
Where?
in Hawaii.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, I got back yesterday. It was the best week. Yeah.
She's staying there?
She's working there right now. So yeah. Had a place to go visit her and stay. My friend went with. So yeah. We had the best week. Got some sunshine. Yeah.
She was so happy to see
It
you.
was such a lovely visit. Yeah.
So good. It was so good. So good. Oh my gosh.
You're doing the floor?
Yes.
Good, good.
Yes. Oh gosh. And it's so good to see you. I know I miss you when I don't see you.
Here they are. Yeah.
Okay.
I do like it. There you go. I
Will
try
you
to
take
do
good
that
care?
as best I can. Be practical.